my friends. Hello again. Let me say welcome again to another edition of John Sports Corner. John, I might say that this is the second to the last Wednesday in 2024. And it is something that cannot be repeated. So to our viewers and our subscribers, we thank you for your support. We would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, because this is your Christmas sports update. So John, let me say again, welcome. Thank you so much for your support and for your dedication to this service to our viewers. And may we enjoy many more years of this occasion. Thank you so much, John. Welcome to John Sports Corner.
Thank you so much, Trevor. And once again, a very good afternoon. As Trevor says, Merry Christmas. This is our Sports Eve show for 2024. And certainly, folks, I thank you for subscribing. Thank you for joining the John Sports Corner. And I hope since we've been on, I have been able to provide you with information, on new information and solid information that you can go to the bank with. And, but before I get into this update, let me remind you, you may go to the Winner Circle Sports in the SosoBone shop and purchase merchandise that's there, that's available. There are T-shirts, mugs, backpacks, etc., etc. Of course, there is sorrel, and certainly the great Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee. It has to be a part of your Christmas morning breakfast and maybe after dinner on Christmas Day.
Oh, yes.
Surprise your family with a cup of Blue Mountain coffee.
Yes, yes.
Let's start with sports. With birthdays as usual. As yesterday, Devon Baker, young athlete, celebrated a birthday. Today, Charles Oakley, former New York Knickerbocker, celebrates a birthday. Tomorrow, one of my favorite footballers of yesteryear, Sidney Bartlett, who played for YMCA in Jamaica and represented Jamaica back then. Matter of fact, he was he carried Jamaica on his shoulders. He would have celebrated a birthday. Sidney died a couple of years ago.
Oh.
And on Friday, Kylian Mbappe, the Real Madrid and French footballer, superstar, he celebrates a birthday. Former boxing champion, Donovan Razor Ruddock, out of Jamaica, was a Canadian boxing champion at one point. He celebrates a birthday. Starting with cricket, Barbados and West Indies, dynamic all-rounder Deandra Dotting, selected by the Gujarat Giants in Sunday's 2025 Women's Premier League auction for approximately $200,000. She was one of 120 players vying for 19 spots for the third edition of the Women's Premier League, scheduled for February 21st through March 15, 2025. Of the 19 spots, 5 are reserved for overseas players. Both Dotting and Heather Knight have listed their reserve price at the highest box, which of course was $60,000, but they picked her up for the $200,000. She was part of the Melbourne Renegades team that recently captured their first ever Women's Big Bash League title in Australia. West Indies women's white ball head coach Darren Sammy to take over as head coach of all senior West Indies team starting April 1st, 2025.
Oh.
The announcement made by Cricket West Indies Director of Cricket, Miles Bascombe. This means that red ball coach Andre Kohli will oversee his last game as West Indies coach, with the two-game tour of Pakistan scheduled for January 16th through the 28th, 2025, of course. With this change, there seemed to be a feeling that Sammy may be able to influence some of the white ball players to come back to Test cricket.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Chris Derring has been appointed Cricket West Indies CEO. It is being reported that he was selected from a so-called competitive pool of over 50 applicants from Europe, Australia, Afghanistan, India, and the Caribbean. He will take office February 1st, 2025, and will be based at the Cricket West Indies headquarters at the Coolidge Cricket Ground in Antigua.
Oh.
West Indies women more cricket leveled their three-game 2020 series against India women by winning game 2 in Mumbai by 9 wickets.
Oh.
Windies ladies first win over India since 2016. India women 159 for 9 from 20 overs. Smriti Manhana 62. Risha Ghosh 32, Deandra Dotting 2 for 14 from 4 overs, was the most economical bowler, while Chanel Henry, Hayley Matthews, and Afra Fletcher picked up 2 wickets apiece. West Indies women 160 for the loss of 1 wicket from 15.4 overs. Hayley Matthews a spanking 85 not out. Kiana Joseph 38. Shemaine Campbell 29 not out. And the series breaker, it will be tomorrow. Not the same for West Indies men, Trevor, as they lose the first 2 2020s against Bangladesh at Arnoldsville. Game 1 by 7 runs and game 2 by 27 runs. The West Indies just didn't come to the party with their bats. And while I suppose you select who is available these days, I was disappointed to see Andre Fletcher and Johnson Charles in the squad.
Oh.
And if you are gearing yourself for the next World Cup, these two certainly will not be the two to pin your hopes on. There is the youngster out there in Kishikati who I think could have been selected, and a couple of others who I think could have been selected as batsmen in this 2020 format. Anyway, game 3 tomorrow, the final game of the Bangladesh Tour of the Caribbean. Australia-India Test Series remains tied at 1 apiece after the rain-affected Brisbane third Test ended in a draw. Australia 445 and 89 for 7. India 216 and 8 without loss. Centuries for Steve Smith 101, his 33rd Test century, and Travis Head 152, his 9th Test century, while Jasprit Bumrah picked up 6 Aussie wickets in their first innings and ended with match figures of 9 for 94. Whoa. The series moves on to the Melbourne Cricket Ground for the 4th Test next Thursday, which in British or Commonwealth countries is Boxing Day.
Oh my goodness. Cricket and Boxing Day, okay.
Boxing Day. India spinner Ravi Ashwin has retired from international cricket. The announcement coming following the India-Australia drawn third Test. In his 14-year career, Ravi took 537 test wickets in 106 games, while also scoring 6 test centuries. New Zealand won the Hamilton third test against England by 423 runs and so avoided a whitewash in the 3-game series. New Zealand 347 and 453, England 143 and 234, Kane Williamson 156 to anchor the Kiwis' second innings. Harry Brook, meanwhile, was adjudged the player of the series. Congratulations are certainly in order for former West Indies captain Sir Richie Richardson, now a distinguished member of the Emirates ICC elite panel of match referees.
Okay.
He achieved the remarkable milestone of officiating in 100 men's one-day internationals as a match referee, with the first game between South Africa and Pakistan in Paarl on Tuesday.
Okay.
Sir Richie made his debut as an international match referee in 2016 and since then has officiated in 52 test matches, 106 2020s, 8 women's one-day internationals, and 15 women's 2020s. Moving to some track and field news, Paris Olympic 100-meter gold medalist Julian Alfred set to make her debut for the 2025 season at the New Balance Grand Prix, which is an indoor meet on February 2nd, 2025. The event celebrates its 30th anniversary. Jamaica's national 800 record holder, Navaski Anderson, has joined the UA Mission Run Baltimore team. The Baltimore-based club is renowned for fostering middle distance talent. And apart from holding Jamaica's national 800-meter record, he has represented Jamaica at the Commonwealth Games, the World Championships, and the Paris Olympic Games this past summer. His Jamaican national record stands at 1 minute, 44.70 seconds, which was set in July of 2023. Swedish pole vaulter Armand Mondo Duplantis named BBC Sports Personalities World Sports Star of the Year 2024. By winning gold in Paris Olympics, he became the first back-to-back pole vault winner in the Olympics since 1950. His 2024 season included breaking the pole vault world record 3 times, which now stands at 6.26 meters. He also added the world indoor title and the European title to his treasure chest for 2024. Moving on to football, the one we use with the feet. The Jamaica Football Past Players Association, that was formed in 1997 to lend assistance to past national players who may be having some difficulty in retirement, had their inaugural awards ceremony last Friday at the Melbourne Cricket Club, and from all reports was an absolutely successful event. Again, the special honorees were a good friend of mine, one Mr. Howard Juicy Bell, Michael Tulloh, and the late Freddie Green. Posthumously, Mrs. Marva Green accepted her late husband's honor. You know, he was also responsible, Trevor, when I was in high school. He selected me as a part of the champs team that year in 1959
Okay.
as a reserve for the relay team.
Well, my respects to him, John. He,
So,
he,
you know,
he knew
and
good talent. He knew good talent when he saw it.
you know, and actually Freddie Green was the captain of the Kingston College first Manning Cup winning team in 1949. As a matter of fact, I have to say this. I have a good friend who went to Kingston College, you know, Trevor, back in those days.
Okay.
And he said the first time Kingston College lost the Manning Cup, he cried
Oh.
because in the 4 years that he was there, they had never lost. They won the Manning Cup 4 years in a row. 49, 50, 51, 52.
But at least he discovered something, John. He discovered he could cry.
You know. But you know, he said he cried, Trevor. Anyway, you know, folks, the contributions for the Jamaica Football Past Players Association may still be sent to Scotiabank in Jamaica, and the account name is Millennium Solutions. That's MILLINENNIUM, Millennium Solutions Limited. And the account number is 651310, and it's in Ligani in New Kingston. And while the main Jamaica schoolboy football season is done and dusted, that is Manning Cup, the Costa Cup, and the Oliver Shield. The under 16 and under 14 competitions are not done.
Okay.
Manning's High School defeated Clarendon College 3-2 to win the under 16 rural title, while the under 14 title was won by Manchester 1-0.
Oh.
I'm sorry, it was won by Glenmuir,
Oh.
1-0 over Manchester, a stoppage time goal. Can you imagine going down to stoppage time, Trevor, and somebody slips in a goal and beat you 1-0?
Oh my God, that's heartbreak time, John.
You know,
Break time. You know,
Manning School will now play St. Andrew Technical High School for the under 16 All Ireland title,
okay.
while Glenmuir plays Kingston College for the under 14 All Ireland title.
Okay.
48-year-old Brazilian legend Ronaldo putting his hat in the ring for the country's football association's presidency.
Okay.
He says he wants to recover the prestige of the national team, and he'll be trying to replace the current president, Ednaldo Rodriguez. Brazil has not advanced past the quarterfinal stage since winning the 2002 FIFA World Cup.
Wow.
Rodriguez's term runs until March 2026, but the presidential election must take place in the 12 months before then. Ronaldo was part of Brazil's winning World Cup teams of 1994 and 2002.
Okay.
Real Madrid and Brazilian winger Vinicius Jr. has been named the men's FIFA Player of the Year at the Best Awards.
John, thank you so much for that announcement. Yes. Yes.
Vinicius Jr. and his club boycotted the recent Ballon d'Or ceremony after missing out to Manchester City's Rodri. Rodri was second in the voting for Best Player Awards, FIFA. And in the 2023-24 season, he scored 24 goals along with 11 assists to help Real Madrid to the Champions League and La Liga titles. Yes. Barcelona midfielder Aitana Bonmati was named Women's Player of the Year for for the second consecutive year. So again, a bell for Aitana Bonmati.
Yes.
The Pushkas Award for what was considered the best men's goal of the year was won by Manchester United's Alejandro Garnacho for his sensational bicycle kick in Manchester United's 3-goal-to-0 win over Everton in November of 2023.
Okay.
Now, 38-year-old Marta, the great Brazilian women's player,
Oh, yes.
won the inaugural Marta Award for her goal against Jamaica in June earlier this year. And Real Madrid's 65-year-old Italian coach, Carlo Ancelotti, who led the Spanish Giants to the Champions League and La Liga titles, was named the Coach of the Year.
Okay.
Jamaica traveling back to the island in the sun and the Jamaica Premier League. This weekend, Mount Pleasant takes on Portmore. Malines United plays Tivoli. Racing against Waterhouse. Cavalier plays Humble Lion. Montego Bay United against Vere United. Dunbeholden takes on Arnett Gardens. Chapelton Maroons against Harbour View. And the leading goal scorers so far, or goal scorers, are Kimoni Bailey of Mount Pleasant and Warner Dwayne Brown of Arnett Gardens. They both have 8 goals apiece, while Jalmaro Calvin has 7 goals. He plays for Cavalier. English Premier League, Liverpool and Arsenal drop points last weekend, with Arsenal drawing with Everton 0-0. Liverpool drawing with Fulham 2 goals apiece.
Oh, boy.
While Newcastle defeated Leicester 4-0, Ipswich 2-1 over the Wolverhampton Wanderers, Nottingham Forest 2-1 over Aston Villa, Crystal Palace 3-1 over Brighton and Hove, Manchester United upset. Is that an upset? Manchester City 2-1. Manchester City was leading for like about 85, 86 minutes of that game.
Oh, yeah?
And, you know, Trevor, when we, as a youngster, when we played football, sometimes you wondered why one of our teammates made such a stupid tackle to get a red card or give up a penalty.
Oh, yeah.
And that was what happened to Manchester United. What a stupid tackle inside the box.
Yes.
Penalty. Goal, 1-1. And then United scored another goal to beat them 2-1.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you, you know.
Heartbreak, John. Heartbreak.
But, you know, meanwhile, you know, Trevor, another English Premier League manager bites the dust. Following their 2-1 defeat to Ipswich, Wolverhampton Wanderers have sacked their manager, Gary O'Neill. The Wolves have just 2 wins in the season against 11 losses so far.
Oh. Number 11 is a dangerous number.
Number 11. The mango tastes nice, no, Trevor. Anyway, Trevor, West Ham United's manager, Julian Lopetegui, says he's confident Mikel Antonio will make a full recovery and return to playing in the coming months. The first report we got was that Antonio had surgery on a lower limb fracture. Now we know it's a broken femur.
Oh.
It is encouraging that the manager is optimistic about Antonio's return, but let's talk SosoBone now, Trevor.
Yes.
Antonio will be 35 come March 2025.
Oh.
A return to playing fitness is estimated to be maybe another 12 months or so. So that will put him close to 36. Getting back to physical fitness is one thing, but what about the psychological damage and the fear of re-injuring the leg in a hard tackle? Will he get over that?
Well, John,
Only time will tell.
you have to consider the contract he has, John. How long his contract runs so he gets paid.
Well, here's a fly in the ointment. His contract with the club expires this summer.
Oh.
What will the club do? He's been with the club since 2015. And I think it will strictly be a business decision, Trevor.
I see green pastures, John. I see green pastures.
But I do hope he recovers and to full fitness. And if you have played sports, some of us have suffered some broken parts along the way. And it took a little time to, get over that. And I don't think it's a fear, but you wonder if you can survive a serious tackle, and not re-injure that spot.
John, when you're doing something all your life that you love to do, you hate to give it up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's well understood that even though Father Time might have passed some of our players by, they're still trying to chase it down. So, good luck.
But Mother Nature always have the last word, Trevor.
well, Father, Father Time have to say as to a keys to Mother Nature.
Mother Nature always have the last word. Anyway, moving on, Ukraine international and Chelsea winger Mikhailo Mudryk has reportedly tested positive for a banned substance. In fact, the club confirmed yesterday that they had been contacted by the Football Association after an adverse finding in a routine urine test provided by Mudryk. While he denies knowingly using a banned substance, he has been provisionally suspended by the Football Association. And players found to have intentionally taken banned substances can be banned up to 4 years, according to the FIFA guidelines. Mudryk has missed 5 matches in all competitions so far.
Question, John. Do they test the managers and the owners of the clubs?
And the coaches?
And the coaches.
I don't think so. Only those in competition.
but John, I ask the question, because sometimes you wonder if if they themselves are juicing so that they can think as fast as they do as coaches.
Well, maybe. I don't think so. I don't think they're tested, Trevor. They might have to go through a mental test, more than a physical one. Moving along, though, to English League Cup, Arsenal 3-2 over Crystal Palace, Newcastle 3-1 over Brentford, and Liverpool 2-1 over Southampton. In UEFA Women's Champions League, Barcelona tripped up Manchester City 3-0. And of course, City's big star, Jamaica Reggae Girl captain Khadija Bonishaw, was not in the City lineup for this game.
Okay.
In the FIFA International Cup final, Real Madrid 3-0 over Pachuca. Mbappe, Rodrigo, and Vinicius scored the goals for Real Madrid.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the Jamaica Sunshine Girls, as we go to the hoops of netball, begin preparation for the upcoming 3-game series against South Africa, scheduled for January 18th, 22nd, and 25th of next year at the National Indoor Sports Complex. Netball Jamaica Vice President Simone Forbes says the squad is already working on schemes in the hope of registering another series win over the 5th-ranked South Africa. 18 players have been called to the camp, which will be cut to 15 for the series. And by the way, some of the players who played in the series win against England will not be available for the South Africa series. And by the way, the latest world netball rankings, Jamaica has moved up 1 spot to 3rd in the rankings, replacing England.
Question, John. Do the players get compensated according to their team ranking?
Netball?
Well,
As far as I know, the only compensation these ladies get, they might get some kind of stipend when they play in a national competition, international competition, sorry. And other than that, is if they are playing in a professional league, as they do in Australia and in England. But other than that, I don't know that it's still basic. It's still basically amateur.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would like to see someone with some deep pockets, some of that oil money,
Yeah, never done.
set up a professional netball league, not just in Jamaica, but maybe in the Caribbean. Because as I have probably said before on this platform, one of the big issues for the Sunshine Girls now, the Jamaica netball team,
Yes.
on their side of the globe, there are no teams that are competitive with them. And so in order for them to keep sharp and to be competitive, they have to take a plane to Europe.
Okay.
To play against England or or Australia. Or if you want to bring in, say, even now in Africa, you have South Africa and Malawi are pretty good teams now in netball. And so, and it's so interesting. The first Trinidad and Tobago were joint winners of the first World Netball Championship.
Wow.
But they have never stepped up to the plate since then. Jamaica has dominated the Caribbean, this side of the globe. And it's so unfortunate that the St. Lucia, Grenada, maybe Antigua, Trinidad and Tobago, that they have not been able to produce top class our netball teams competitive enough to give Jamaica a run for their money. I think it would improve not only Jamaica, but make netball that more competitive on this side of the globe.
Would you consider it a lack of resources, John, that one, private enterprise is not putting the resources into that sport, and that the government itself that might have a Ministry of Sport does not consider netball as a place to invest as much as they do into the other sports?
I'm not sure how to answer that question, Trevor, and because I don't know if, as I said, I don't know if there was the possibility of a professional situation, say a professional netball league in Jamaica, where young ladies got paid money that they could live on.
Right.
And not worry about another job.
Right.
you know, that it might help to improve netball in Jamaica
I have to
and
con
maybe across the Caribbean if you brought in teams from the other Caribbean countries.
well, yeah, yeah, I have to consider, John, that what makes the other teams in the other countries successful? What makes them qualify for them to get financing by their governments or by the business that that runs in those countries? Is it because they believe in the talents that they have? They believe in their people. They're willing to invest in the community where this practice and these sports develop from the, from the minor stage, or is it because they're totally ignored? Because we have to figure that if the if you invest in the students, they're gonna pass their exams, right?
Hmm.
And if it happens in any country, the only thing that should be therefore held up as a barrier should be finance.
Yeah,
So the question is, are they being ignored because they do not have the financing to keep them, to nurture them? Because we have to ask those questions when we look at how our rankings are and who we are comparing ourselves to. And that Jamaica is riding high in netball, not because of their financing, John, but
yeah.
because of the talent.
Yeah.
Because of the talent.
And and really coming from primary school through high school, through clubs, the competition is there
Yes.
that develops the players till they get to the national stage or get to a national platform. Um, but Trevor, money makes the mayor run, you know.
Well, John.
And 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 it might very well, we might very well have to say that even with our football and our cricket sports, that if there was more investment, if the people who have the purse strings saw the importance of sports as a viable moneymaker platform,
Mhm.
then we probably would see a difference in our, not only netball, but our footballers. You look at our Premier League. Um, and I'd love to get, and I'm going to try and get someone to talk about it. Do our Premier League players do what they get paid? Is it sustainable what they get paid to play in our Premier League football?
Yeah.
You know, um, and I tell you to be able to buy $1 million house, but can you maybe buy a nice little apartment, have a car, you have a family to take care of? You know, do you get money? Can the money you get paid to play the football do those things?
It's a
And
good question.
even our cricket, for the most part, you see, Trevor, we are in a amateur world still, you know.
Yes. But John, you see, my observation is this, that if the government of the Caribbean countries had an interest in developing sports as a attraction and as a business, then you would consider that if they were to offer tax breaks to companies that invest in sports, okay, then you would find that the business will be motivated, John, to put
Mm.
money in the sports. We talk about what was happening with the cricket teams that were being sponsored by the sugar, um, the,
Estates.
the sugar estates, John. So it's not like they don't know what it takes, John. Okay, because in as much as those players were working for the estate, the estate was investing in them, and that was being written off as an expense, John.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like you look at Jamaica that they're blind. Maybe it's time that we get a new sports minister down there that might be a little bit more wide awake to what is happening across the world in the land of sports. Because we have had some complaints, John, when we think about the reggae girls, for example, the lack of support from the government until the last minute after the Marlies had bailed them out.
Mm.
And we look at the complaints coming out of the Paris Olympics, John, about who went, who never should have gone, John. Okay. And all of those questions raise, it identifies an underlying problem, okay, somewhere down there.
Yeah.
Okay, because even as we see prime ministers and ministers turn up at the pen relays, John, when the Jamaicans are running up here, we still recognize that except for the service provided by the support of Team Jamaica Biko and diaspora support, that half of those athletes would not be up here, John.
You know, I'm listening to you, Trevor, but I was just trying to remember a name. So I was just scrolling through my
Yes.
phone to find a name.
Mhm.
And this is an interesting conversation because was it last night or night before, I was looking at the sports report out of Jamaica,
Mhm.
and the president of the um Jamaica Sportswoman Foundation, whatever RJ, whatever it is, Mike Fennell, might know that name. He was talking about this very topic.
Okay.
Yeah, about more recognition being sports, more recognition being placed on sports and its ability for financial gain.
Right.
But you need people, you know, who have that vision
Yes.
and are willing to sponsor clubs, athletes, you know.
You know, in this,
But as I said, no, Trevor, the attitude there is still very amateur.
yes,
You look at champs, that the kind of sponsorship champs gets. Can you imagine if Jamaica Premier League or the Jamaica Cricket Association then got that kind of sponsorship to
yes,
to to build their professional leagues?
yes.
What a difference it would make.
And even then, John, you think about this, the structure, the organization, the management, to the extent that can you play more games more regularly?
Yeah.
Can you have games where 60% of the purse goes into a fund, John, for the players, John.
Yeah.
Okay. So the players know why they are consistently playing games at different times is to build the retirement fund or to build enough fund for them, John. Okay. Marketing them in a sense that makes it attractive where it is a business, John. In this, we have seen where to stimulate the economy, John, you give business tax breaks, right?
Yeah.
And we're looking at 2025 with an incoming president who people are really worried about giving tax breaks to business to drive their expansion and to drive their growth. Now, nobody complains about driving and developing business. So I look at it the same way where sports is concerned. That sports is a business in most countries, John. In most countries. But as you said, we are still playing amateur sports. And to the extent that even when you have a dynamo like Usain Bolt, you know, you hear about him when he gets ripped off more than when he was not ripped off, John. Okay.
Hmm.
We hear about some of our reggae artists, John, who are pretty much homeless and living on the street. And yet we brag about how powerful a brand is, reggae as a brand for our country.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, you look, even though that well, not recently formed, but they just had their first real big function. The past Players Association now, and another friend of mine, Neville Oxford, who is part of that
Mhm.
organization. I think he's now the president actually,
Okay.
and he has worked assiduously to try to set up this organization
Okay.
that can help, because there are a lot of former players, footballers, who really having some difficult times now, because when these youngsters were playing the football, they thought they were kings of the hill,
Yes.
and nobody taught them to put away for tomorrow, because tomorrow must come, you know. And
Yes.
what do you have to help you when tomorrow comes?
Yes. But when you look at other sports like basketball in USA, they have a pension system in place for their players, John.
Yeah, yeah,
So our
true.
country, so they are not blind to what is working that makes other sports and platform networks, you know, attractive and productive long term for the players who invest in it. Okay, and I'm going down this road because I think it's on platforms like these, John, that we have to call out the ministries and the governments that are neglecting the sport in the act of neglecting the players.
Well, yeah, and you know, Trevor, talk about neglect. Look at that Montego Bay complex and the one in Trelawney.
Yes,
I mean, even at Sabina Park,
yes,
Sabina Park needs work, but
yes.
the people who own it might not have the money to do the refurbishing or the keep up that is necessary to make Sabina Park remain a spectacular um, ground for cricket.
But the same way
Eh?
the government, John, is going into partnership with people who are coming in to build these 1,000-room hotels.
Mm.
Okay, the same way they're going into partnership for the other enterprises like airports expansion and roads and bridges, John. If they recognize that these things are an integral part of our culture, then it stands to reason that they should have no hesitation, John, in going into a partnership to refurbish Sabina Park, just like they refurbish and is building a new stadium, John. Okay? Maybe it's time, as I said, for us to get a new sports minister.
Well, you might have to get a new government to start there, so because we've been hearing for a long time now that they're going to even do some work on our national stadium.
Yes.
And now I hear it's supposed to start next year finally. So we'll have to see if it does start.
Okay, so like electioneering to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. But anyhow, Trevor, let me just wrap this up. As we travel to the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago, of course, hosting the first Citizens Jewels of the Caribbean Women's Under-20 tournament, and teams from Jamaica, Dominica, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines are participating, along with two teams out of Trinidad and Tobago, the Red Angels and the White Angels.
Oh. Hmm.
Catching up on the score so far, Red Angels defeated Dominica Republic 5-0. Jamaica and St. Vincent and the Grenadines played for a 1-1 stalemate. However, Jamaica turned around and defeated Dominica 7-0.
Wow.
Trinidad and Tobago White Angels and St. Vincent and the Grenadines in a 0-0 stalemate, while the Red Angels defeated the White Angels 1-0. Trinidad and Tobago Soca Warriors lost their first game under coach Dwight York, an international friendly against Saudi Arabia in Riyadh, 3-1. The match served as an opportunity for the team to adjust to York style as they build toward the CONCACAF preliminary playoffs against Cuba in March of 2025 and the resumption of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers scheduled for June. And Trevor, that's where we put a wrap on this Christmas Eve podcast for 2024. When we come back next week, it will be the New Year's Eve cast for 2025.
and let me say, wrap by saying kudos to Vincy Junius John, and to Darren Sammy. And I hope that at a certain point we might be able to entertain Darren Sammy on this program so he can tell us his plans.
Yep.
Or, and I know that down in Brazil we might have a problem seeking Portuguese to get an interview, but you can work on it.
Yeah. Get Ronaldo.
Yes.
CR9.
Yes. And at a certain time, we also need to get Julian Alfred on this program, Johns. Okay, so she can talk about what impact she's having down there with the things that she's doing with the young.
Trevor, that would be really a wonderful one. But the problem with that is, though, I don't think she's going to be available now until maybe September next year or October.
That is
because they have started their background work for 2025 already. They are in training. Okay. And when they start training, it's hard to get them athletes.
Okay, well, maybe I'll try to work on some of our contacts. But again, let me say thank you so much, John.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you for this excellent summation you have done. And to our viewers and to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. You're tuning to John Sports Corner on the SosoBone Media Network. Thank you.
And certainly, again, Trevor, thank you to our viewers, to our subscribers for touching that button and listening to John Sports Corner here on the SosoBone Media Network. Thank you so much.